Hello everyone, I would just like to take some time today to talk about tactile cues and positive reinforcement. Now you might be thinking, tactile cue, that's just negative reinforcement. And this can be really confusing for beginners or even more advanced people. So first let's go over negative reinforcement, or pressure and release as it's commonly known. So pressure and release is when you apply pressure to get the horse to do something. And this could be like applying your leg to the horse to get him to move over. The large difference between a tactile cue and pressure and release is that pressure and release works off of putting pressure on the horse until the horse responds, whereas a tactile cue is something that comes from behavior capture. Now, you might be thinking, what's behavior capture? So behavior capture is when a horse does something, so they do an action, such as touch a target stick or touch an object, and then receive the positive reinforcement. So they receive a treat or whatever snack you might be giving them. So in positive reinforcement, the action precedes the reward. So the horse seeks the reward rather than seeking to get away from the pressure, such as in pressure and release training or negative reinforcement. In some of these clips, you can see me using a hand target, such as right now, where I'm asking him to come in a circle around me and this cone. In other ones, you'll see me holding a stick. And with a stick, generally I use it as a target. It should only be used as a target, and I do not think that you should be hitting your horse with the stick. Because if you are creating pressure with a stick or a whip or anything, really even a pool noodle, that is negative reinforcement and you are negatively reinforcing your horse. So here you can see I'm waiting patiently because he didn't want to jump, and that's fine. Then I make the suggestion with him and he goes, oh, well, I should come towards you. You're holding the target. And I say, no, over top. What a good boy. So I've made my target stick into several different kind of indicators for what variety of action or behavior I want. Now it's just a target stick. I want him to target it, touch it, and receive a treat. And now I'm going to use it like a target stick to lead him over the jump. After I wait patiently. There we go. And over the jump. I've gotten very specific with my target stick, and you can too. Here I'm using it to draw him into me by asking for his shoulder. And I hold my target stick in many different ways. Here I'm asking him to touch it with his nose. And next I will use it to guide him through this little maze that I've created. Because this is a brand new exercise that he's never done before. So with new exercises or exercises that are more difficult, I tend to use a target stick or a stick of some variety to help kind of explain exactly how I want him to move his body. Because I don't want him to become frustrated with me or my lack of explanation for how I want him to behave. And with tactile cues, or even cues in the air, just like this one, you want to make sure that you are not creating an excess of pressure. So when you're using a tactile cue, it is simply that. You would want to use no more pressure than if someone were to touch you on the bus to get you out of the way. Tactile cues are not about creating more pressure for the horse to get away from, but rather a button to indicate to the horse what you would like them to do and how you would like them to behave. And you can create a lot of different varieties of behaviors and actions with your tactile cues if you are very specific on how you place them and what makes sense to your horse. Ultimately, how you choose to give your tactile cues is up to you. I prefer to use the end of a stick or target stick or whatever object I have sometimes if I'm asking for a more complicated maneuver. The most important thing to remember with tactile cues is that they are just a touch cue, created as an extension of behavior capture rather than pressure and release. And here you can see my horse got uncomfortable. He's running to me in a new environment. What a good man.